Here we go. All right. Here we go. Three, two, one. Welcome everybody back to Courtside Conversations. It's a pleasure to have you on our YouTube channel. I have another exciting guest that I'm going to introduce you to. Now, he's not a new franchisee. He's been in the network for one term. He's actually finished his first term already. And it brings me great excitement to introduce Charles from the North Lakes area in Queensland. Charles, welcome to Courtside Conversations. Thanks for jumping on.
Oh, hi, Emil. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
Now, Charles, I've had the pleasure of speaking to you many times. We've had great conversations when you and May flew into Sydney. You done your test before you invest. You launched with Queensland. I've spoken to you a lot of times, so I feel like this interview is going to give a lot of wisdom and a lot of advice, especially for somebody like you who's just finished your first term as a Little Boomers basketball operator. But Charles, can we start by introducing yourself to everybody? Give us a little bit about you, what you do, the wife, everything pre-Boomers.
Pre-boomers. Well, I played basketball since I was young and I've continued playing for years. I'm married to my wife, May, who's also the franchisee owner and big part of this business. My background's in architecture, design, construction, and yeah, here we are.
You're a baller. Did you say you play basketball?
Yeah, I'm from the Philippines and played over there before I came to Australia and yeah, just played for many years and yeah, now I'm enjoying being a basketball coach and a
I could
business
definitely
owner with Little Boomers.
I could definitely see the translation. I mean, if you love playing basketball, it makes sense to run a Little Boomers basketball franchise owner. Although I must say, you don't have to play basketball. It does help if you're Charles and you're a baller. But a lot of our franchisees, some play soccer, some are basketball players. But that's awesome. You're pretty much running a business with where your passion is. Charles, what first drew you to become a franchise owner or a business owner? Was this something that you always wanted to be? Was it an ad? Was it just time for a change? Like, what drew you to franchise ownership?
I've been looking for business venture for a while actually. I researched so many different businesses, yeah, so many industries, but when I came across Little Boomers, it was just the right fit from our research and after talking to you, doing our due diligence. Yeah, it was definitely the right fit for us. I love basketball. I'm passionate about basketball and sports, and I've got a big family and heaps of friends with lots of kids, and I love coaching kids. And when I saw Little Boomers, the brand looked very strong, and yeah, I guess I was ready to give this business a go.
For sure. You mentioned before that you were looking at opportunities in the past. Why, in your opinion, why didn't any of those opportunities come to fruition, you reckon?
Um, I guess the main thing that I saw with Little Boomers compared to others is feels like you're making a difference to the community. You're giving back. That's probably big for myself. Yeah, just I guess after playing for so many years, just want to give that knowledge back. And I remember when I was a little kid, just the joy and the fun I had playing. Just I want to give that those experiences back to the new generation.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, is it safe to say, Charles, when you were looking for that business opportunity, you were looking more so as in what's aligned with your passion, making an impact first, then seeing is the business profitable? It came first from a place of passion and serving the community. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. Passion is a big thing because I guess there's so many sayings, but one of them is like if you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. So yeah, if you find something that you really are passionate about, yeah, I guess you're lucky and yeah, doesn't feel like work, I guess, doing this little business.
100%. And I think, Charles, that's probably one of the most important things. And part of our franchise recruitment selection is we look at why someone's coming into this franchise. If it's money first, then want to make an impact, we don't go ahead with them. If it's, I want to make an impact, I want to give back, I love working with kids, and then it's the business model, well, that's all. that's great. We can chat more. And I think what you said before, because today in today's world, everyone's looking to make a quick buck, fast buck, money, 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 and they're kind of losing their passion, their reason why they want to start the business because they're just following the dollar. As a result, turnover's high, businesses close, people are switching jobs. So I think it's really important. Would you say to the audience, somebody that's trying to look for the right franchise for them, they're getting bombarded with ads, maybe ads with me, ads with other competitors, or all different types of franchises. Would you say it's important that they figure out what they're passionate about and what's aligned with them in their lifestyle, then find the business out there for them?
Yeah, passion's a big thing. If you don't find something you really love what you're doing, the challenges you're gonna face, you may not, you can overcome anything if you really love what you're doing and want to do this. So definitely, yeah, passion's a big thing, and yeah, enjoy what you're doing first. And I guess the byproduct of that is the business model and the profits, etc. will is a byproduct of all the efforts you put in something you really love doing.
Yeah. And you know what? That I saw that passion in both yourself and May when you flew down to Sydney for your 3-day test before you invest workshop. I can see both of you want to make an impact to your community, and you kept saying that one word. I love the brand. I mean, love the brand. I love the brand. I love the mission. Like we want to help our community in North Lakes. And when I was in that office, both Mary and myself noticed that you and May were really doing this from the heart. Yes, the numbers were important, and we did have a discussion about the numbers and the break even and the business model, but it was always about the passion and giving back to the community. And that's what really appealed to both Mary and I when we were having discussions with you. It was like, wow, these guys really love it. And to complement that, actions speak louder than words. When you were on the court doing your court training for the test before you invest, Mary called me up the day after. He's like, "Hey, Charles is like, he's like a coach that's been in the network for 5 years. He's jumping in there, he's coaching. He's like, we don't get this level of energy until the third day. He's jumping in there more than the other coaches. He's getting involved. Like, he really loves this." And Mary was blown away with how much active involvement. Like, you weren't shy, you weren't nervous to get there. You were going all hands in. How was that experience coaching the first time in our Sydney location?
Yeah, at first it was nerve-wracking, but I guess it helped. You don't need to have basketball background to do this business, but I guess I'm a baller at heart and I love basketball. And I guess the experiences I had playing, um, even the competitive side, once you're on the court, coaching's a little different, but you can kind of lean on that. And I just used my experience, and that was a good test to really see if we want to do this business. And yeah, I love the coaching part of the business. It's just seeing kids happy, and now that we've finished our first term, 8-week block of it's just amazing to see the kids that are just getting better every week, and kids that are shy and coming out of their shell. It's we've had parent testimonials that have, yeah, explain all that the kids are just amazing to coach.
And I got to compliment you. Credit when's credit due. We keep up to date with all the franchisees' social media profiles, and I would say you are probably the most active franchisee posting. I see your post. You've got testimonials from the players, testimonials from the parents,
Yeah.
Jersey Week highlights.
Yeah.
You got a whole bunch of content that's really good and engaging, and that's exactly what we encourage our franchisees to do because can't rely on network wide. Like you got to do your local area marketing. And I've seen your socials. You've even got a YouTube channel. You did a
Yep.
vlog on your grand opening. You hired some person to go around with the camera
Yep.
doing a vlog on your grand opening. Charles, social media is so important, right? Especially for the franchisees to promote their brand at a local scale. Why is that important? Why is it important? Why is it important that a franchisee like yourself continues to promote their business locally?
Oh, I think it brings brand awareness, just not just the national level Little Boomers, but yeah, like what you said, to your local area, your local community, kind of see you engaging with everybody. Yeah, parents are excited to actually see all those posts, and even grandparents are commenting and liking them, saying you know, saying the kid, go Sophia, or yeah. So social media is very important to, just tell the local community that you're here and yeah, you're here to serve the community.
Yeah, 100%, Charles. And keep posting social media. We're loving your socials. I like every single one of them.
Yeah, I've
Charles,
had lots of practice. I used to do practice a bit on my own
yeah,
YouTube and social media. So even before I started Little Boomers, I've already had the experience.
100%. And I can tell, and an experience pays. And at the end of the day, a parent needs to see the franchisee, the face of the business locally, and not just rely on network-wide marketing. They have to see the franchisee's face, what they're doing in their community, and you're doing an awesome job. In fact, one of the things that you did so very well at was when it was coming time to launching your franchise, you were doing these Red Cliff markets, right? And I use this story time and time again. I think you did 6 or 8 weeks straight of these Red Cliff markets where you will go there on the weekend, get a little stand, promote the business locally. Talk us through what you were doing with these Red Cliff markets and how important it was leading up to the grand opening launch of your business.
The markets was great to just be on, I guess the term I would use, boots on the ground. You can do so much online social media marketing, but there's nothing like being on the ground in front of the parents and kids and talking to them. You know, the kids love the little hoops, they shoot around just to get a feel of what to expect in the classes. Parents have a lot of questions, so you can answer them then and there. You know, they'll be hesitant at first because it's all new. And if you're there with a friendly face and just be honest and tell the truth of what the classes are, you just build relations with different people and parents and the kids actually too, in the local area. So yeah, shopping centers, markets, yeah, anything boots on the ground is really beneficial.
And I think that led to the success of your grand opening, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Charles, before you sign the agreement with any franchise, there's an initial outlay, 50, 100, whatever the investment is. There's an initial outlay. A lot of the times people can experience a lot of nervousness when they're going to outlay that money. Like when you're purchasing a stock or a house, is this going to work? What if it goes belly up? Did you experience any of those apprehensions or hesitations early on? And if so, what got you across the line?
Yeah, I guess everyone is always you got to think through things, do your due diligence, but I guess what got us across the line was the investment is I guess the brand that you're going to be a part of. My wife and I have started a business on our own, and business is very hard. If you
Hmm.
start from scratch, it takes years. So I guess don't see it as a money that you're putting, that you're spending. See it as an investment with an ROI. You're gonna get the return on investment because Emil, if you told me we're gonna start this business, I think from memory I signed up in March and then we
I think
launched
so, yeah.
around July. So what's that, 4 months? If you told me we would start and launch in 4 months with a successful first term with 80 kids, I'd be pinching myself.
Yeah, the
So
dream, yeah.
that investment to just launch in 4 months is worth it. I don't even, at the time, you're apprehensive, I guess. You're thinking, you're researching, but it was worth the money in gold.
Charles, I appreciate that. And you alluded to something that is so true. It's more so a hidden investment, right? It's what you don't see. Like when you purchase a franchise, you can see a lot of the tangible benefits. I get an equipment package. I can see that. I get a marketing package. I can see that. I get training. I can see that. There's one element that you can't see in your investment that is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and takes years to build up over time. And that's the brand. And a lot of franchisees, you mentioned this very well, a lot of potential franchisees don't see the brand as an investment. I always say the brand is the number one asset that we have. What Little Boomers is, what it stands for, that's the number one asset we have. Not our programs, not our equipment, not our coaches. The brand encompasses all of that. Unfortunately, building a brand doesn't happen, like you said, in 3 or 4 months.
Well, it takes
McDonald's is it takes years. McDonald's brands, Jim's brands, Subway, all those big brands, they take years and years and years of quality service, of messaging, of marketing, of social media posting to build a brand that's known as the leaders in the industry. And a lot of people they come in and they say, okay, what am I getting for this 50? What am I getting for this 55K? Okay, I'm getting this equipment package and this marketing package, but what else am I getting? I said, you're getting the brand. You're purchasing for a fraction of the cost the thousands of dollars we've spent trying to build up a strong and reputable brand that's trusted by parents. And if you were to start your own program, Charles's basketballers or whatever, you would have to build up that brand from scratch all the way from the get-go. Would you be able to launch within 4 months with a grand opening of 80 enrollments? No, you probably wouldn't. You'd have to figure this out, this out, this out. But you alluded to something that's so important, Charles, and that is the brand. It's the hidden investment that you're getting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Very well said. Now, Charles, let's talk about your grand opening. Very few times I get the privilege of being able to see a grand opening, a sold out grand opening with 80 members on your first term of operation. Unbelievable. We usually try to aim for 40, 45 enrollments on the grand opening. You and May smashed through the gates with 80 enrollments. We've only got a couple of handful of franchisees that's ever achieved that. So congratulations to you and May. It's a testimonial to the work that you're doing. How was your first term from the build up to the grand opening? How was your first term of operation?
It was a mix of emotions. It was exciting, stressful at times, but really rewarding actually. Once we launched and had our grand opening, we got into a rhythm, week in, week out, do the classes, started the classes, and when we saw the kids enjoying themselves, just really felt like all the hard work paid off. Yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the highlights? Did you have any highlights, any one or two moments or highlights that you said, yeah, that was a highlight of my first term?
There was a few actually. Biggest highlight was, I guess, seeing the kids. Some kids were actually very shy. I had to literally have some kids, I had to run. First of all, the parent was the one running with them on the court because they were so shy. Next thing is I jumped in. So I was running with the kid the following week. Then eventually the third, fourth week, they were just running with the kids, and parents
Unbelievable.
are really thanking me that they've come out of their shyness and come out of their shell. Um, yeah, so that was really good. That was the highlights. Just seeing the confidence build, the smiles. Yeah, even a lot of parents said some new beginners, they got a basketball and started just practicing at home. So it's given some kids some purpose out at home as well. So that just it was a nice big reminder that we were making an impact in these kids' lives.
What a feeling. What a feeling that is to see a
Yeah, it
child
was.
who was shy progress through your program. I mean, isn't that one of the most rewarding things about our the business that we're in? You know, we're getting paid to change kids' lives. You know, a lot of people going to the city, doing dead end jobs. You know, punching a spreadsheet. You know, not seeing any of the fruits of their labor. Well, we can actually see the impact that we're making on a child's life, and we're getting paid for it. That in my opinion, is the ultimate dream. Charles, let's talk about some of the challenges. Let's be honest with some of the challenges you experienced in your first term. And we had quite a few. We had the game ready kits. We just spoke now before the Zoom started about the not the active, the fair play vouchers initiative in Queensland. I don't sugarcoat some of the challenges that we have in business. I'm open and honest with the challenges any person comes into the business. What were some of the challenges you faced in your first term, and how did you kind of manage and overcome them?
The hardest part was juggling everything, um, from recruiting the coaches, myself doing the coach training, the admin side, marketing, getting our name out in the community. we made mistakes, I guess, along the way, but we just kept learning, leading on the head office systems that you guys have in place, and day in, week by week, slowly found our rhythm, and yeah, that was some of the challenges actually. Yeah.
One of the challenges I saw you post in our weekly Monday morning momentum, for those that don't know, we franchisees post MMM, Monday morning momentum every Monday, one win and one challenge from the previous week. I remember one of your Monday morning momentums, Charles, you said, everything is just like, I'm so passionate. I'm thinking about boomers 24/7. I just need a bit of time just to kind of unwind and just relax and enjoy the journey. Why don't you talk to the audience about how important it is, yes, to go hard, but also to take the time to kind of just unwind and enjoy the journey that you're going on?
I guess from speaking for myself, I was looking for a business for a long, long time, and I eventually found something I really enjoy and passionate about. And once I started, I was just really consumed in it every day. I was thinking about it 24/7. I
So was
was
I.
just so engrossed into it
Yeah.
because I've been looking for so long. This is not something I've taken lightly. It's not like I want to do business, bang, let's do it. Once I found I was just really into it. And I guess there's a good side and a bad side. If you don't give yourself some downtime, um, it might just drain too much from you. So I
Mm.
guess from learning curve is you gotta learn to balance a bit. Take some downtime, refresh, reset, so that you can become a better person, first of all, and become a better business person. So yeah, that's one of the big challenge I had to face. Yeah.
You know what, Charles? It's something that I face every single day. And it's a good challenge to face because the fact that you're so passionate and in love with the business shows that you actually care about the business, that you care, that you want to give it your all. But like you said, it's so important just to dial back a little bit because if you take that time to rest and recover, you come back as a better business owner. You come back as a stronger, more clearer business owner versus if you, I got to do this, got to do this, I love this, I got to do this, I got to get back to this inquiry at midnight. If you take that time to step back, yeah,
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning inquiry. Look at that, parents. We're getting dedicated North Lakes response time here. 4 4 a.m. in the morning. But if you take that time to actually unwind and to keep your family time and your time with May, you'll come back as a stronger, more clearer business owner. So I think that's a really important lesson. Charles, out of all the lessons that you've learned, actually this is interesting. If you could redo term one again, your as in your first term of operation, would you do anything differently?
Um, I would probably worry less about being perfect.
Mhm.
I got to a point where any little imperfection was really annoying me, but at the end of the day, not just in business and in life, nothing's perfect. So I was too, what's the word? Just wanted
Fixated?
everything perfect,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's not how the world works. So yeah, if I could do that differently, I would learn that from the start. I'd probably start. I know I started marketing earlier, but probably start marketing earlier again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, because most of the time, everyone doesn't notice the little things, because once I guess the classes start, kids just want to have fun and get attention. So if you start marketing early, talk to the parents, get the enrollments, and then yeah, don't be so perfect and in everything.
Charles, that's a really valuable lesson that you bring up. And I think the issue is business is uncertainty. Business equals uncertainty. That's the game of business. Anybody that signs up for business, you've just signed up for a whole bunch of uncertainty, right? I guess it's not a matter about are things going to go wrong? Things will go wrong. We had the game ready kits, website went down for a little bit. We have a whole bunch of things that happen. Things will go wrong in the business or not go according to plan. But the most important thing as an operator is how you respond to that. What steps you put in place to respond. And I've always said there's one or two ways that you can respond. You can respond empowering. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This has happened. That's not ideal. I'm going to do this. Or you can kind of respond in a way oh, why this happened to me? Why this happened? Why this happened? Why this happened? And you've responded to a lot of those adversities very good. And we spoke about how we're going to respond to one of the situations that we're experiencing at the moment with Queensland with the fair play. And if you're in Queensland, guys, let Little Boomers become a fair play voucher. It's not fair, but anyways, we'll get
It's
we'll
more the
continue
play
there.
on voucher. The
Play
play,
on, play
yeah,
on,
play on
play
voucher.
on vouchers. We were talking about we're not a providers because we're not a non-for-profit, and we're coming up with ways to move around that. So business is imperfect. There's going to be uncertainty. How you respond to it is what matters. And that's the biggest thing. Our operators, the best operators in terms of our network, respond to that adversity well. They've got backups in place. Let's talk about support and systems, Charles. You mentioned that a couple of times. Every franchise all harps on about support. We offer 24 offer support. We offer support here. We're always here for you. It's just too vague for somebody. It's too vague. Look, what I would like to ask you is what actual things have we kind of helped you in terms of systems or in terms of support that you have found valuable? Like specific things that we've supported you with or systems we've had for you to help you run your business. Can you touch on what you found the most valuable?
Oh, there's a few. Part of the franchisee joining is the marketing tools that you guys provided us. So you gave us big support on launching. You even gave us car signage. So I got my car with
Oh,
little bit of
Isuzu
signage.
D-Max.
It's so good. Like I drive around and everyone's
Mad. Yeah.
looking at the car and yeah, they're just really curious. Oh, what's that? It's like kids
Yeah.
basketball. Some parents even like take their phone out, or some people take their phone out, take photos.
How
That
good.
was a really good support. So that's another local area marketing thing. The sports plan app with the coaches' lesson plans, the drills, that's good support. You guys do a great job on constant checking in with training, updates. Um, yeah, you've given us a lot of framework so we don't feel so lost. Yeah, that's
Playbooks.
a big support of this Little Boomers franchise.
Charles, you mentioned before, like somebody being available, you mentioned. How valuable, like if you were doing a business on your own, just you and May, I could see it could be very daunting by yourself, nobody
Oh,
to lean on,
we've
nobody.
done it, and
Oh,
it's
you've done
you're
it.
on your own. You just virtually you don't know what you're doing, to be honest, because you're a first
Yeah.
business owner. There's no support. It's all on you. But
What business did you do with your wife, May,
we
previously?
did like a tea business.
Okay.
Yeah, we tea and we're doing markets, and yeah, that was great experience. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was just when you're on your own, yeah, I guess it's harder. There's less support, less framework.
And talk, like you're pretty much kind of doing guesswork. Like I got to figure this out. I'm going to try this versus okay, there's a way of doing stuff. But talk about how has it been having because I know you speak to Greg, franchise performance coach and fellow franchisee. How is it having somebody to call and lean on? If you're stuck with this, I'm stuck with this. I'm going to call Greg. Like, do you find that valuable knowing you can call someone for help or assistance?
Yeah, Greg was being a big help. When we first started, I was the second Queensland franchisee and he was the first. So yeah, we built up good relations. I did my 8 week coach training and a few of our coaches did our training in his Wavell Heights classes. So that was really valuable. Yeah, Greg and I just get chatting. I was just being a sponge, really learning from him.
Yeah.
And even now when I've got an issue, I text him and he messages. We keep in touch, but it's not just Greg too. It's the whole national franchisee network. So I've spoken to a few people in Sydney and in Victoria, Melbourne. So just having the head office, which is yourself, Emil, and all this franchisee as networks, um, it just feels like you're part of an amazing team. Like you're a
Yeah.
business owner, you can make decisions for yourself for your business, but being part of this network is it's really been helpful and yeah, it's amazing.
I think you would appreciate that, Charles, especially since you and May came off that business adventure with the tea where you're like, It was only
Running.
you two. It was all
Yeah,
by yourself.
running,
Having
right?
this network, head office, I've got franchisees I can bounce off and lean onto. I've got head office I can lean onto. That's one of those, again, those intangible, the things that you don't see when you're purchasing a franchise, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So we struggle with
Yeah.
starting our own, and now we're in business because you guys have been there, done that. We just relied on your experience and just ran with it.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that. And shout out to Greg. Greg, nice, got a nice little shout out from Charles, doing an awesome job. He's on holidays right now. Hopefully, he'll be back next Monday, God willing. Charles, where let's set the sights on the future. You've done your first term of operation, approaching your second term in October. Where do you and May in 5 years' time? Where do you want to take this franchise? What impact do you want to have? What enrollments you want to have? What locations you want to have? Where do you want to take this franchise? If you had a time traveler machine where you could travel 5 years ahead in time in 2030, and I came down to your location in North Lakes, what do you want people to see? Where do you want to take this franchise?
Well, if we take a step back, I guess in a year, I'd like us to be the program that families think of first when it comes to kids basketball. We really want to make a big difference to this area and community. Um, yeah, I guess the big picture is in 5 years, we'd love to have multiple venues and a bigger presence, not just in that area, maybe a second franchisee or in South Brisbane, maybe, or yeah, just a bigger presence in the whole of Brisbane community.
100%. That's so it's the goal is for you to, I like what you just said there, to be the number one provider for kids basketball in Queensland.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
That's awesome, Charles. Charles, I want to end this by uh, some imparting advice that you could give to someone. If somebody was watching this video and was interested in franchising, but they're a little bit uncertain, they haven't booked a phone call with me, they haven't taken that next step in their journey, and they're a little bit hesitant, what words would you give to them, and how would you help them find the right franchise for them?
I guess, first of all, just always remember why you're gonna do this business, whether it's Little Boomers or something else. If you know why you're doing it, it will help you with the challenges you're gonna face. So, and this business is amazing. So yeah, I really recommend it and just do it. It's not easy. You will work hard, but if you love basketball, you love kids, you want to coach kids, and you love sports, Little Boomers is for you. And I guess a few more things is it really helps if you want to give back to the community. If you have a giving mindset, that's really going to help, I guess, show that you're genuine about what you're doing with this business. Business is never easy. Nothing is given to you and everything is earned, but it's very, very rewarding.
I appreciate that, Charles, and it's definitely rewarding, and nothing is easy, but if you have the right support team around you, it makes it easier to get push through those walls. Charles, my last question, I did say before was my last one, but I always end my guest speaking interviews with this. It's going to sound a little bit morbid, and you're probably not going to be prepared for it, but here we go. Let's say you're going to a funeral and you walk into the church and you look at the picture of whose funeral it is, and there's a face of you. So somebody comes up for the eulogy to talk about your life. When that person is speaking, how do you want to be remembered, and what do you want them to say on your eulogy about you as a person?
Well, you did put me on the spot here.
Yeah,
That's tough. I guess I just want to be remembered as someone who lived every day like it if it was their last.
that's very well said. I love that. Living every day as if it was last. That was
Yes.
it was a bit of an on the spot question,
It
wasn't it,
was.
Charles?
I wasn't prepared for that, but I better just stick to that because my background. I could elaborate, but we could be here forever.
I do know your background, and It's very fitting with what I know with your background. It is very fitting indeed without going into it in detail. Charles, with that being said, that brings us to the end of our guest speaker interview. Firstly, I wanted to say congratulations to you and May on completing your first term as a franchise owner and for the huge impact that you've made already in a short period of time in the North Lakes area. 18 enrollments from term one. You're truly elevating the brand and you're growing Little Boomers basketball in the community, especially in the Queensland, Victorian community, which is what we love our franchise doing. We wish you all the best in your next couple of terms and many success and good things for you to come. Charles, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll pause the recording.